What is up, guys? Jay here, your Phoenix streamer. I'm here to talk to you about another hot topic tonight. Something that I guess that strikes home me. I'm gonna check and make sure everything's working. Be just a second here. I guess that strikes home me. I'm gonna check and make sure everything's working. All right, so it started a little late. So what's up, folks? This is Jay, and I'm here to talk to you about a hot topic. I'm talking to you tonight about the masks that people wear online, how people act differently when they are in groups, um, how they act differently when they're online. It's a pretty tough topic, but of course, feel free to weigh in as you see fit. So getting started in this one. Um, we see it all the time. We see people who just do not know how to behave when they're online. You get people who will call people names, just destroy people in conversation and stuff. But for tonight's topic, I like to break it up. I like to be organized. So I'd like to start by talking about a very specific core here. That's just nerds in general. Let's talk about the angry nerd. We all seen it. Comment section of YouTube, chat room, hey keyboard. The type of person who you know very well wouldn't buck up to anybody on the streets. Um, this is the person who um, gets that computer between them and the other person, and it's always "fight me in real life." The thumbnail I use: "Fight me in real life." Man, I'm so tough. Or, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Blah. And the term I use is hush mode. They go to hush mode in real life when there's issues, but you catch them on during a particular like heated argument online, and all of a sudden they're friggin' Superman, busts out the kryptonite, and then you see jerks like dating apps and stuff like that. It's like they get mad because you don't send them nudes or whatever, but but so what causes that? So to do this, I'm going to have to talk about other real world things. I was talking to another gentleman tonight about this, and it's the same example I use whenever I talk about the subject. It's think about graffiti artists, and when they are most likely to graffiti at night. Why are they doing it at night? Um, well, for starters, we naturally feel more protected at night, less likely to be seen, more hidden. There's less people around, um, and all of these things add to the feeling of security, of protection, if you will. Um, and So it's a lot easier to do deviant behaviors when we feel like nobody's going to catch us and nobody's watching. Now I'm sure that's an easy comparison over to what I was talking about. Let's look at the other aspect of things. When somebody throws a chair, that riot gets started. Now everyone's up and yelling and screaming, and it gets contagious and just starts picking people up and stuff. That's the group mentality that since everyone's doing it, I can do it, and no one's going to be judging on me. No one's going to think worse of me. It's just a thing that I'm doing, and so people think that that's okay, and that's the group mask. Your senses and your actions and everything are being masked by the group. You see things like gang violence and that feeling of belonging, like it's okay because I'm part of this thing. So yeah, that's the the group mask, which falls in a few categories. The justification mask. It's when people aren't looking at you doing it specifically because everyone's doing it. So what's the problem? So we have that mask that we wear. Then there's the actual mask. You put a hood up, you go out, you go and rob a convenience store. You just do it. Um, and there's that, the most simple and obvious mask. That's actually hiding your face. So I'm going to bring these all over to the previous topic about why we do this on the internet. And honestly, you can act like a perfectly restrained individual during your day-to-day life, but get behind that the computer and you're all of a sudden a Windows warrior. You're a computer fighter. No one can stop you. You feel tough because you say you're tough. No one believes it. People call you on it, but you're getting that anger and that aggression now. And anger and aggression are natural human instincts. That's fine. You're acting this way because you don't get it out during most of the time. Get it out. But just hide your face. No one can see you. No one knows it's you. Now you can say anything. Everything is doable, is acceptable when no one can see you. Um, so I've been looking into certain groups online now. Just we have chat rooms now where people ask for pornographic pictures, and there's a wide breadth of people in these groups. You have those that have very just large amounts of respect for themselves, for the community. They know what they're there for. They want to see naked people. They're going to act nice about it. But the vast majority of people just become horrible, and they get disappointed when that horribleness isn't met with results. Cringy, just creepy, uncomfortable to read and talk about. A gentleman this evening, he posted a young lady by name, first and last name, city she lived in, state she lived in, asking if anyone has any pictures of her. What a stretch to think that any random group of people on the internet might have photographs of this young lady. I assume it's a young lady. I mean, her name was female, but that's besides the point. How bad is that? Is that acceptable behavior, even in this group where people are expected to be acting that way? Let's delve a little bit deeper. So what sort of behavior, what sort of masks are there available here? You have a chat room on the internet surrounded by other people who are there. Everyone knows what they're there for. So you have group mentality masking your behavior as acceptable. So the bar is really, really raised there for what is acceptable, what's not acceptable. You have the internet. No one knows who you really are. This guy didn't even have a profile picture, so he's got that mask up. He's got the mask hiding his face. He's just got the little Discord silhouette, right? So no one knows who he is, and no one can hurt him if they do know who he is, or they find out who he is, or they disagree with him. And he's surrounded by people, so he's got justification of the things he's doing, even if it's just in his mind. So, and criminals act this way. Criminals express this behavior. They don't. There's a common thing called the offense cycle, where you do the same pattern over and over again. And to break that offense cycle, you have to separate yourself from the mentality that that's okay. So there's a point where you make a decision to break the law, and then there's a point where you start planning for it. You have the need to do it. Then you realize that need can be met by breaking the law. Then you realize that to break the law, you have to plan. Then you have to execute. Then you have to complete. Follow through, and then the cycle will continue because you'll be back in a situation where you have a need. Break the law. Simmer on it. come back to it. That's the simple way of it. So the easiest way to get through that is start identifying where you are when you're making those problematic decisions. You sit there and you have to justify your actions because at the end of the day, you really only answer to yourself um, internally. So if you feel justified in what you're doing, you're going to keep doing it. So what stops us from making depraved actions, from doing actions that hurt ourselves or hurt others? What really keeps us from doing it? Let's dive into that. And the first and obvious one is consequences. We're afraid of having consequences, so we don't do things. We won't steal something if it means we're gonna get arrested and have to pay a fine. We're not going to go out there and expose ourselves in public because you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna end up on a list somewhere. Um, Then you have the moral aspect of things, where you absolutely know it's wrong. You don't want to ruin somebody's day. You don't want to victimize someone else. You empathize with other people, so you don't do these things. Um, then there's the whole aspect of challenge. There is a certain level of not doing it because it's hard. Um, you don't want to put the effort in, whatever. That's the aspect of challenge. So there are all these things that stop us from doing these things. So, um, and then I'm going to transition back to what I was talking about before. Um, the mask of just being on the internet. If you are the person, let's say that you're in a kindergarten class. Let's say that everyone's 5 years old, right? Let's say there's just one 5-year-old who realizes that teacher cannot actually do anything to you with lasting consequences. Let's say you became self-aware at a very young age, so you start running rampant because you know that society is not going to have any sort of consequence for you. Not that matters in the long run. Usually people start realizing this around second grade. But you can get it. I'm just being an extreme example. I'm going a little younger on this. Um, Imagine how that person might act. Just gonna bring the mic up over here, get a little bit of a better voice here. By the way, the Samson boom mic, fantastic little device here. I recommend it for everyone, especially if you're in a budget. But this thing's been doing a really good job since I got it. It's my first freestanding mic, and I like it. Just going to put it here between the keyboard and the. There we go. Looks like I'm getting a lot better sound quality there. But all right. So, when do you realize that you're doing something wrong, or do you realize? What if you just sit there and you go through the motion over and over again, and no one stops you? You don't get caught, but then suddenly you are caught. You hit that brick wall. Stop. You know. Now you're in the real world, and you got caught. And there's consequences for doing stuff like this. You're going to end up in a situation that you don't want to be in. Um, you're going to end up hurting your people you love. Um, that's just the risks that come with it. You're not the only victim of your crimes. Um, so, again, coming back to the question, why do we act this way online? There's a need that needs to be met. Real life, you're just not being satisfied by the way things are going. Real life, people are mean to you. You have no power. Real life, there's rules and regulations. You don't get to have fun, and you have to, basically go for scraps. Whatever hand you're dealt in life, your real life sucks. And so now you're stuck. The internet gives you this window where you can just be free and liberal, and you can just be that person inside. So I need to look at you like this. If you're acting this way online, you might want to take a step back and just ask yourself, am I a bad person inside, Do I like who I am inside? Does this way I'm acting reflect who I am, you know? And, I'm certainly not sitting here saying that I'm any kind of like angel or anything. I mean, I know I've got problems too. Everyone's got problems. Um, but I think that, my true self um, doesn't like to hurt people. Um, and that doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean the bad things I do are right. It just means that, I have a limit of how far I'm willing to go um, to meet my needs and my desires. Honestly, needs and desires are important too. Like when you don't need something you desire and you victimize someone to get that desire, this is where you get people like 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 like, like flashers and stuff. Um, they don't need to expose themselves, but psychologically they can't not do it because they have to do it. They need to get that done, but they don't need it. They're not going to die if they don't do it. But they believe they need it. So online, that's not really the same thing. You go to places where your views are supported. You can just Google search any argument that you want to make, and boom, there it is, right there. And oh, by the way, www.tierzero.threadless.com. That's where I sell T-shirts, mugs, binders, shower curtains, whatever. It's there. But moving on. Um, Sometimes we indulge in things because we know we're doing things wrong. Um, Another story from the same chat room. Someone posted this video of someone getting their skull just beaten in and taken apart, digging in the body, and it was gruesome and horrifying. And um, everyone was just like, "Welcome to the internet," or "What do you expect in this kind of chat room?" These people are very aware that they're doing this, they're acting this way, and they're just doing it to get a reaction. And what then? I see I have just some viewers. Does anyone here have anything to say? Or chat's been awfully silent, so if you have anything you want to say, chime in. Questions, please feel free to ask. Um, Again, the subject is masks. We wear them. How we wear them. What do we do with them? So um, I don't expect it to change. I'm not sitting here talking about it to change anything. I'm here tonight hoping that even if just one person watches this video, that people are aware of what they're doing. You now are aware that you might act a certain way online. Ask yourself, do I do this differently? But more importantly, pay attention to what other people are doing. Pay attention to how others feel, how others respond. Be aware that these are real people you're talking to, and they're acting that way for a reason. Don't go all preachy on them. No one ever responds to preachy on the internet the way you expect. But be kind. Back up. Don't get mad. They want you to get mad because that's giving them that control. Don't respond the way these people want you to respond, because then the cycle just continues. I got them mad. Ha ha ha. Troll, troll, troll. Some people take that opportunity to just act terrible because they like upsetting you. You know, it's bullying, but in reverse. They're in your head. They want to make you feel bad. You know, and if you want something from someone, respect them enough to ask them. Don't demand it. Expectations are always a bad thing to have. You don't want to have expectations. Sorry, my phone went off. Having expectations of others is unfair to them. It puts a burden on people that you don't have the right to put. So that's all I have to say on the subject. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting close to the 20-minute mark. Please remember to comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm always ready to talk about things. If you want to see what any topic discussed here, from gaming to psychology to family to suicide, anything, just talk to me. And everyone, have a good night, sleep well or wake up well, go to work, have a good day. And I hope everyone continues having the best lives they can have. This is Ben Solember signing out.